Hi, I'm Melanie with The Color Caboose, and I'd like to share with you how I created this upcycled sofa project. I was inspired by a local artist who is also named Melanie from Windmill Vintage Designs. I started off this project with an old junky sofa. You can find many of them on Craigslist or your local swap meets. You're going to want to strip it down to the bare wood, take out all the upholstery nails, staples, everything except for just the frame. Yep, that's horsehair under there. After you're done stripping it down, it should look something like this. You're going to be left with a lot of holes from the nails and staples. You'll need to cover those up. My preferred material is Bondo. Sander. Some gloves. Your Bondo.
I like to get an additional tube of hardener. Sometimes I end up burning out. Something to mix it with. Something to mix it on that you're going to toss. I just get an old piece of scrap wood.
When you're done filling in all those holes and sanding down, it should look something like this. I used a Bonnie's craft cord from Hobby Lobby for my macrame. And before I drilled any holes, I tested on a scrap piece of wood the right size hole I would need to drill by doubling my cord in half and making sure it fit through pretty easily. You'll want to go through and drill in the holes you need around your frame, underneath where your boards are going to be sitting. Okay, so to figure out how many holes to drill into your frame, look at each four-sided section as a panel. Starting with the bottom part, figure out how many holes you can safely drill on that bottom panel, and the other three sides should add up to that same number. On top, you'll notice that I drilled 22 holes on this particular section. And coming down on each side, I drilled 4 holes, totaling 30 holes, which is what I drilled on the bottom. Once you figured out how many holes to drill in a particular section, if you have a mirrored piece, you can try to drill the same number of holes on the other side, like I did here, so that when I figure out my pattern, I can get it to somewhat match. Okay, so now when you're ready to start attaching your macrame cord, of course you're going to need your macrame cord. A small little screwdriver to push it through. What you're going to do is hang your cord over and measure down about maybe a little past the holes on the bottom bar. You're going to want to triple it.
Engaging you's on my agenda. Request my chariot to get ya. The door's open. Take that hot road and hop in. Open up. Shut it down like
find your center point.
Open.
And with your screwdriver, place it right in the middle, and it pushes through with ease. You'll be looping these strings through that little loop on the other side. And then pull it nice and tight. Continue around until you're done. Your cords are going to look very long, and that's okay, because the last thing you want is to end up with too short of a string. I did make that mistake the first time. Once all your cords are attached, it's going to look a little crazy. I wanted to show you in my original project, I only used 2 knots to create all these different patterns. There are lots of great macrame instruction here on YouTube. I personally like Lots of Knots Canada for her very simple tutorials.
First impression, you OPN, we should be closer than friends. If you OPN, engage.
Here is a square knot done kind of like a fishtail where you get a different end all the time. Here's the half hitch, square knots. These little berries are made with a square knot and then just kind of fold it over. And then down here, I left a little bit to pull on, to stretch it, to make it real taut. And then you'll have to put 2 strings through every hole again. Once that's done, kind of adjust them. You want them tight, but you don't want them to distort your pattern. To get them nice and tight, you're gonna staple them all in. Probably about 3 staples on each one at least. Make sure they're nice and secure. Trim off your excess, and that's all there is to it.
So just have fun experimenting with different patterns, trying out different knots. Anything can be fixed until you're ready to staple them down. Once your macrame is finished up and everything else, you'll need to attach your boards for the seat. I just made a template. I have an old box and some duct tape. Make your templates. Get some wood. I used construction 2x6 boards because they're inexpensive and they're pretty thick. So here I am laying them down, drawing out my pattern, and then once they're cut, I'm laying them onto the seat. You'll see that they aren't the prettiest type of boards because they are construction. They're a little rough, but with sanding and filing, they can look fabulous. So once you have them cut, you'll want to stain them and then attach them and you are finished. Thank you for watching.